Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that has definitely had some close encounters. Welcome back to the best part of your week. Welcome back to the Love, Death, and Movies podcast, Internet's #1 film breakdown and review podcast. The podcast that crushes watch lists week after week. Every 2-ish months is a different genre. Every week in that 2 months is a different film in that genre. So follow us on everything and join along for the ride, and let's watch some movies. I'm one of your hosts, Ash, and as always, join with me is Harry. We're definitely not recording back to back. We're definitely not wearing the same outfit. So I'll ask you for the first time today, how are you?
I'm good, Ash, and I believe in aliens.
Me too.
There has to be aliens out there, right?
There has to be something else.
We're going to turn this whole episode into this. I'm okay to. I'm all right. I'm okay to do it.
We're actually not going to break down the movie. We're just going to talk about our opinions on other life.
Aliens. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I believe that there is some sort of intelligence in America. Not much. But there's definitely some life forms outside of Earth as well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you zoom out, I think there's a comedian, I can't remember his name, but sidebar real quick. He talks about, we all think we're so important and, we all, be in America and people just, think they know everything that's going on. He's like, you ever looked at a map? Now zoom out. We are just floating in space. Just little specks floating in space just
Exactly.
on one planet. And we think we're so important. We're not the only ones. We're definitely not.
Definitely not. So that's the end of the podcast.
That's it. Let us know what you think about UFOs and aliens. Anyways, we are
I'm good, Ash. How are you?
What?
I'm good, Ash. How are you?
Okay. I forgot what I even asked you to begin with. I'm also good. I don't know if you want to go over your week again, but
Not really.
I don't think I really want to relive the last 2 weeks of my life personally. So I think we'll just look to the future. And I'm excited to talk about this movie. So yeah, we're continuing on the Book of Spielberg today, tackling one of his earlier films. I think it's his second or third film. Well, it must be the third because obviously, there was one before Jaws. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, released in 1977. This one was actually written and directed by Spielberg, costing just over $19 million. Which is kind of a lot for the 70s, but not too surprising since he kind of does these big, huge blockbuster films. Movie stars Richard Dreyfuss, Melinda Dillon, Terry Garr, Bob Balaban, and Francois Truffaut. I think I pronounced that right.
Sounds right.
So a couple things before we get started. So fun fact, originally Spielberg wanted the casting to look a little bit different. So I thought I'd go over this with you because there's a lot of names here. So he originally wanted Steve McQueen to play Roy, but he declined due to not being able to cry on cue. So he did not think that he'd be a good fit for the role. And then he considered James Caan, Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, Gene Hackman, and even De Niro and Nicholson.
Could you imagine?
I know, before landing on Richard Dreyfuss. But basically, the way that it has been reported is that Richard Dreyfuss essentially forced himself to be cast because Spielberg was writing the script while on set for Jaws, and he listened to him talk about the movie for 7 months straight, and he was just like, let me do it. And I think he was fantastic. So I just wanted to ask what you thought of the casting and if you could picture any of those people in this movie.
Yeah, he was perfect. He was kind of like that, likable, goofy sort of character that, I think there's better actors than him, but I don't think there's anyone that I could think of that would have done a better interpretation of that specific role, if you know what I mean.
Well, he's likable and charismatic, but he's also quite irritating. And I think that he plays that well. It's kind of similar to his character in Jaws, where he's aggravating a lot of people, but he's charismatic and kind of makes jokes and quips. And he's kind of got a little bit of that little man syndrome. He's a tinier guy, and it works for the character very well.
Yeah, that's the perfect way. If you had Nicholson or Al Pacino or someone up there, you'd be less inclined to be annoyed by him, just because you're oh, it's Nicholson. It's a weird tangent, but that's my problem with Gone Girl, the movie. I love the book. I think the movie's really great, but the one thing I just think that Ben Affleck was miscast because you're supposed to really hate Nick during that film, but you're I don't really hate Nick because it's Ben Affleck. So that's kind of why I think he was miscast, and that's why if they cast someone else here, it'd be the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I do think that certain actors give off a certain energy or a certain vibe even. And some of these people I listed off, just their energy does not fit Muncie, Indiana, blue collar lineman, electrician. It just would not work.
Agreed.
So I think it was perfectly cast, and not even just with Richard Dreyfuss. I think some of the other characters as well, like even especially Terry Garr, I think stands out. She's so funny. She's funny in every movie she's been in. I'm not sure how familiar you are with her, but she plays his wife Ronnie, and she is just
Smoking.
always so entertaining. She passed away not that long ago, so rest in peace to her. But she's just always such a delight to see on screen. So I was happy to see her as well.
She was awesome.
Cool. Well, the film goes as follows.
Roy. I loved her.
When an everyday blue-collar lineman in Muncie, Indiana, encounters a UFO, his entire life changes. He goes on a journey and is willing to give up his entire life and family to find the true purpose of what he saw. Ain't that the truth? Actually, I want to just really quick. I thought it was really funny. So Adam, my husband, his review for this movie, I thought was really funny. I want to read it. It says, "The boomer urge to abandon your family, make out with a stranger, and peace out in the grandest scale possible."
That's good.
That pretty much describes this movie. So, Harry, what are your initial thoughts? I'll be honest, I thought I had seen this movie because I grew up on so much Spielberg. I just kind of like assumed, like, oh, I've seen Close Encounters. But watching it, like, I didn't remember a single thing. So I don't know if I was just, like, mixing it up and, like, I saw E.T., so I just assumed I saw this. But I really loved this film. I was surprised at how well it held up. I watched a 4K restored version. It looked amazing for a 1977 film. I was pretty locked in, like, from the get-go. And my only beef really was, like, the aliens. I didn't really love the way they looked, which is very common for me in alien films to not like the way they look. And I also just didn't like the way that Roy, like, left his family and, like, kissed this random woman. And
Yeah, that was
just
kind of
pretend
wild.
like it was all fine, that he was just going to, like, leave forever. So that was, like, those are just more character choices. That's nothing to do with the actual quality of the movie. But, I thought I had, like, great, amazing visuals. I was, like, captivated by so many scenes. So I really loved it, but yeah, I'd love to know what you thought and if you have like a history with this movie.
No, like this is the first time I watched it in its entirety. But I remember seeing like snippets of it because my mum loves this film. She used to watch it heaps when I was growing up, but it was like, you know, it's not a film for kids because it's like a lot more like it's not really like action packed or anything like that. But the movie is made in the 70s. Like this isn't. It looks incredible for a movie that's made in the 70s, especially like the last 30 minutes is like insane. But I think the best scene is when the kid gets abducted. Of all the like the use of the lights is like so goddamn good. I really like this movie. This movie's great. I think this movie's so sick. I'm glad we watched this. I agree with everything you said. I think is it? Oh my God, I'm just blanking. Roy Schneider.
Oh, Roy. The character is Roy Neary.
What's Richard Dreyfuss. Roy Schneider's the main character. There's Sheriff Brody out of
You're
Jaws.
thinking of Jaws.
Yeah. Richard Dreyfuss I think is perfect for this role. I think he's awesome. I remember like rethinking about like seeing scenes here and there about this movie when I was a kid. All I remember was mashed potatoes, of him making the mountain out of mashed potatoes, and like that's all I remembered. But this movie like really does a good way to, for one, like show like awe in terms of like seeing aliens, but also at the same time create this like really tense, stressful lifestyle that Dreyfuss is kind of going through, when he's just become so obsessed with this idea of extraterrestrial life. But I think it's awesome. This movie is really, really great, and this movie is it just stands the test of time. This movie was made like 50 years ago. That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. And you can tell how much it inspired. I'm not sure if you were feeling like this, but I always felt like Nope had a lot of like aspects of Jaws.
Big time. I'm thinking Nope as well.
This 100%, especially when it's like hovering over his truck in some of those moments, I felt like, and even like when the kid and the mom in the house, that scene, I definitely felt like there was definitely some inspiration for sure. So yeah, this movie just really impressed me, to be honest, considering the age of it. And I don't know, I do feel like people always talk about like early Spielberg and how great, you know, he was in the 70s and 80s. So I'm happy to have like finally watched this now so I could fully appreciate it. There's no way I could appreciate this movie as a kid because there's just too much going on in the plot. So
the character of the cartographer that's in the film, that's Bob Balaban, and he's a actor that's been around the board. I couldn't for the life of me nail where I've seen him from, because he's been in heaps of stuff, but I just found it. He was in Seinfeld, and that's what I was just like. That's what I was just like looking at his filmography. Then it goes Seinfeld. I'm like, that's it, got it. Thank God. So I don't have to do bad things after the episode, so now I'm happy.
You see, I was recognizing him from, it's a silly kind of one, but he's in a couple Christopher Guest movies. Like, Best in Show is always the one that stands out to me. But he's also in Waiting for Guffman. He's a little bit older in those movies, obviously. He's like, looks more like an old man. He's also in a couple Wes Anderson films as well. But yeah, he's been around forever. But yeah, it was crazy to see him so young and had like a full beard and hair and everything. It was definitely interesting. But okay, well, let's get into it. But I'm glad that you agree with me on so much of this. Yeah, just a great watch. Honestly, the time kind of flew by. It wasn't one of those 2-hour and 15-minute movies where I felt like the time was wasted. I felt like the time was used really well.
Agreed.
Cool. Okay, well, the film opens in the Sonoran Desert. Or sorry, I pronounced that totally wrong. Sonoran Desert in Mexico, where French government scientist Claude Lancôme, along with interpreter and cartographer David Laughlin, who we were just talking about, come to examine the U.S. Navy aircraft that vanished over the Bermuda Triangle in 1945 and has now been found in immaculate condition and abandoned in the desert. They then speak to a local man who says that the sun was singing to him the night before, and they start to kind of figure that some weird things are going on. Fun fact about Claude Lancôme, this character was inspired by a real UFO expert and French astronomer Jacques Vallée, who co-developed the first computerized map of Mars for NASA.
Wow.
He's quite an impressive individual, and I think it's kind of cool because obviously there's been a lot of like UFO talk over the years, but I think it's cool they actually included like inspiration from a real life scientist, like somebody who was actually like kind of the expert on, he's like the, like cited as being like the expert on UFOs.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have a character that was kind of inspired by him. I don't know much about him besides that, but I thought that was kind of cool that they tried to pull from reality when creating some of these characters.
Yeah, nice.
While this is happening, meanwhile in Indiana, air traffic controllers experience a strange near collision with an unidentified flying object, aka UFO. I will not say the full thing again. I will just continue to say UFO because
I feel like people would understand what you're saying.
absolutely. But I just had to, break it down once just to make sure people know what we're talking about.
Just so they understand.
Yeah. But the pilots who were involved in the almost collision declined to officially report it as a UFO. But kind of all these scenes are just sort of painting picture little nuggets that, something strange is going on. In nearby Muncie, Indiana, a young boy named Barry, only 3 years old, is awoken by his toys mysteriously activating on their own and their fridge being ransacked. He is entranced by this light and walks outside when his mother Jillian finds him laughing and running further into the bright lights.
Lock your doors. Just lock your door. Just lock your doors. Just lock your front door.
I mean, 1970s in a farmhouse like that, nobody was locking their doors.
But after the kid first runs off to see aliens, you lock every fucking door.
I think she did. He probably just unlocked it.
Maybe.
He's a pretty impressive 3-year-old, if I'm being honest.
He is very impressive, that's for sure.
Actually, that is one thing I was reading about. Spielberg credits this actor. I think his name is like Carrie Bully or something like that. But this actor is actually like 3 or 4 years old when they made this movie. He was like
good kid.
Completely impressive by everyone.
Yeah, good kid.
He was amazing, and just like that doe-eyed like stare that he was able to do. He didn't have to say anything. You knew exactly what he was thinking, which I thought was really interesting and just
don't you
really
reckon
impressive.
Spielberg has a really knack of picking good kid actors?
He does, yeah.
Like from Jaws, the kids in Jaws are great, but then even up to like Ready Player One, like the kids in there are great. E.T.
Yeah.
E.T.
E.T. definitely. Yeah, Drew Barrymore. That's her first movie.
Oh man, Drew. Smash it.
Anyways, the mom Jillian is able to stop him, of course, but this is kind of like the first real indication we see in Indiana that something weird's going on. So then we have Roy Neary, an electrical lineman. He's called out to investigate a widespread power outage. While he's driving, he has a close encounter with the UFO, and it disrupts his vehicle. The scene is so cool.
Yeah.
It shakes everything. It's just such a classic movie making scene, I feel like.
But in the 70s, though.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so impressive.
Yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, shakes the car around, starts disrupting the truck completely, bathes him in blinding light, which ends up causing half of his face to become burned. The scene is just, it's so cool. And as he's driving back, he almost runs over poor little 3-year-old Barry, coming around a curve of this overlook where the locals have kind of claimed that this is the sighting for the UFOs. So there's people hanging out there, including Jillian and Barry. And Roy ends up meeting Jillian finally when he gets out of the car, obviously. And they all end up seeing these 4 UFOs fly overhead with like bright green and blue and green lights. And the scene is just so cool. I know that like people might find that some of this looks maybe cheesy. I feel like this is what I envision UFOs looking like. Like this is what I feel like when I think about what I thought it would look like when I was like younger. This captured it perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. But people think it's cheesy because it's just been redone after this film.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is 50 years ago. Like, it's nuts.
It absolutely captivated me. I thought this scene especially was just really, really like cool looking, and they all just kind of like fly right over them, and they all kind of had like their own color. It was like one had red, one had green, one had blue. So yeah, just a really, really neat
So
scene.
cool. And little red dots that fly through. I think it's so cool.
I love the visuals in this movie. It was so different than what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it like was beyond my expectations, which I didn't think was possible. So anyways, yeah, so that scene's just so impressive. But yeah, Jillian and Barry experience an encounter again when a bright orange light surrounds them. This is the scene that you were referring to. They lose power. She tries to save her son from being captured. There's all these great moments. I think this is some of the best use of lighting I've ever seen in a film. Like
it's stunning.
Comfortable saying that.
Like even just like the look of like the farmhouse with Barry and his mum, and it's just see it like in the dull moonlight. And I was just like, wow, this is really great. And like how you see all the town go out of light and the horizon and stuff. I think that's awesome.
It almost looked like art.
Yeah.
It was really cool. This is probably my favorite scene in the entire movie. Like, I was just like completely entranced in this scene. I don't even think I like took my eyes off the screen for 1 second. I absolutely love the scene. And then like the scene where he opens the door and you see the bright orange just right there. But yeah, I mean, she tries to obviously save him, but there's just no stopping Barry. He goes through the doggy door.
He's on a mission.
He goes through the doggy door and he is abducted by the UFO. Of course, no one in town believes her that this is what's happening. There's that whole great scene in the kind of like town conference room where it kind of reminds me of Jaws, like when everyone's kind of talking about what they think is actually happening. You have the mayor who's kind of not agreeing. You have people who've seen it who are trying to convince other people. Everyone's kind of skeptical. I just think that that's such a Spielberg scene. You have to kind of like have the thing, have the people who've witnessed it, have everyone who questions them. Could have stopped it all, could have figured something out early, but of course nobody does anything. So these people kind of have to go off on their own to figure it out. So I thought that scene was kind of like classic Spielberg. But during all of this, we also see the French scientist Claude and his translator, along with the United Nations experts, go to India, finding strange behavior where a lot of people are singing very loudly this 5-tone musical phrase in a pentatonic scale. They broadcast the phrase to outer space, but only receive back what they believe to be meaningless numbers, or a series of meaningless numbers. But due to Laughlin being a prior map expert, I love this in like these kind of movies. He's a translator.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to do maps before this. Like he just happened to be a map expert.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God. So he realizes that the meaningless numbers are actually geographical coordinates, and this leads them to Wyoming. So they pack up all their equipment sneakily through like the use of a bunch of like trucks with branding logos on them. And this is actually a really like clever way to like be discreet, so no one will question who they are. And they head to Wyoming. So
genius.
I'll stop there. I know I didn't cover like every scene, but anything to add or anything that you
No, you kind of said it perfectly. It's just like this is where one of those movies that like we were talking about it during Empire of the Sun, where you can look at a screenshot and be like, that's a Spielberg film. Just like the way it's shot. And it's like when we talked about the Fablemans and the meeting with John Ford, I was like, where's the goddamn horizon? I mean, like now after seeing that, you can see how much that piece of advice has affected him, because every single shot where you're like, that's stunning, you can see it's like it's upward and the horizon's on the bottom, and it allows the lighting to do the work, and I think that's really cool. You said it all perfectly. I think the best scene in this whole film is the abduction of Barry. I think it is that scene where that one shot where he opens the door and it's bathing the entire screen in that awesome orange light is so sick. It's insane that this was made 50 years ago. I'm just going to keep saying that.
It's funny that you brought up the Horizon thing, because as I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, that's why I'm actually even, like, I love the Fablemans for many reasons, but I think it's cool to understand what kind of inspired him and where he came from as a filmmaker, because watching his older films, I feel like now it makes sense. Like you're saying, like you see things and you're like, oh, that makes sense why this looks that way, or why he likes to do these types of films, or whatever it may be. I just feel like it provides so much context into who he is as a filmmaker. So for that reason, even if you don't love the movie for the reasons like I love it, I feel like even just getting to know a director more and like their inspiration,
it makes so much
it
sense.
Context.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly that. Where you like little things, where you're like, oh, I get it now. Like, yeah.
No,
It's
that's
awesome.
really cool. No, I absolutely agree with you about that. I was thinking about the horizon with some of those sky shots as well.
There's
and
the
some of ocean
goddamn
shots.
horizon.
I actually didn't look it up when we did the Fablemans, but I am curious. I'm assuming that that's like maybe real advice he was given by John Ford. I feel like that has
I'll
to
look it up.
Okay. I feel like that'd be crazy if he just like put that in there just for funsies. Just because so much of it I learned was accurate to his, excuse me, to his real life.
So, yes, the John Ford scene at the end of Fablemans really did happen. Steven Spielberg has confirmed in interviews that when he was a teenager, around 16, 17, he got the chance to meet the legendary director John Ford in his office studio a lot. Just like the film, Ford told him to look at the paintings on the wall. He asked Spielberg what he saw, the horizon line. Ford barked at him to notice where the horizon was, at the top, the bottom, or the middle. He then gave the blunt advice, when the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When it's in the middle, it's boring. And then Ford kicked him out.
I love it. Okay, that makes me so happy. I figured, but...
Thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Okay, getting back into it. So back at home, Roy becomes obsessed with the vision of the mysterious mountainous shape he cannot explain. So, as you mentioned before, he begins sculpting it out of his mashed potatoes. First, it's the shaving cream, then it's the mashed potatoes. Then, eventually, later, it becomes him going out and getting dirt and plants and debris and household items and even chicken wire from his neighbors, making a complete just mess of his neighborhood to attempt to make a full-scale version of the shape. I know I kind of skipped over some of those scenes with his family. Obviously, like throughout this movie, he is driving his wife away and is scaring his kids and just sort of behaving kind of erratic and just kind of slowly irritating everybody in his household. He also comes to learn that others, like Jillian or Barry, who have seen the UFOs, also continuously have this shape in their mind and are trying to replicate it. He continues to push his family away and freak out his children, like I mentioned. His nearby neighbors watch him as he looks like a complete loon.
He looks
just
so
destroying.
insane.
The scene where they all get in the car and he just like has a hose wrapped around him. He looks like an insane person.
He does.
He's like throwing everything into his kitchen window, just completely making a mess. To the point where his wife, Ronnie, takes the kids away. He has tried to express to her that something is happening to him that he can't explain. And in those moments, you do, like the bathtub scene with the shower and the water and all that, when she opens up the bathroom door, you do feel for him, because it's like,
Yeah, it's stressful.
It's stressing him out, but he can't stop. He's so obsessed with it. It's like it's become compulsive, obviously. So I do think that scene is like really powerful, and that's probably the crying scene that was referred to when I was talking about the actor who said he couldn't cry on cue, because there obviously is some emotion behind this character. So yeah, that whole scene with the family and like the big fight the parents have, pretty intense. Yeah, I definitely feel like that was a very realistic scene. So anyways, she's obviously become frustrated with him, even though he's trying to express to her that something is happening to him. And he's continued to become so obsessive that he drives her away. She ends up leaving with their 3 kids, and she's going to go stay with her sister and leave him behind. Doesn't take much time at all after they leave for him to build a life-size version of the mountainous figure with all the junk he's collected from
It's
outside.
so sick.
It is.
Oh, man. You
He's a
just
sick
know it
person.
smells.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool like life-size replica. No, I guess it's not fully life-size, but an actual like real, trying to make a real version of it and using like dirt and plants and things like that to do it. I love the shot where you see him on the phone with her, distracted, and the TV puts the Devil's Tower like spot from Wyoming in the news on the TV, and his is like right behind it.
Yeah.
There's just like a shot where you see the TV and his
It's
sculpture,
so
and he
good.
doesn't even get it. He's like the audience knows before he knows. I love those kind of moments in movies. So yeah, while it's all being done, he's kind of begging with Ronnie on the phone to come back, and just at that same time, the news is reporting a spot in Wyoming called Devil's Tower, where apparently toxic gas has spilled. So Roy and Jillian both see this and recognize the mountainous figure. So they both head that way separately, not realizing that they're both going. I thought it was interesting to see him with the real life map, because obviously, like, during this time, you have to just drive across country with the traditional map. No
Yeah.
GPS, no phone. Just got to figure it out. Looks fucking difficult.
It does. It does. Well, one line that I loved during where he's destroying the house, kind of, is when he goes to the nosy neighbor and just starts picking up all the chicken wire fence around the ducks, and she's just like, "What are you doing?" And he just looks at me and goes, "I'll pay for it." Like, he just runs out with it. I thought that
Like
kid
he's
part,
drying her hair. Yeah.
yeah, that part for some reason really got me.
There's some really funny lines that he says to his kids throughout. Like, I think when the sons, like, and the friends try to, like, sneak up on him and, like, smack him, he's like something about, like, you do that again, you're gonna die, or something like that. There's just, like, some really funny, like, parent moments that happen earlier in the movie.
There was one that's like, he said, what did he say? When he's just like, "Oh, cool, there's Pinocchio's on tomorrow night."
Yeah.
And he goes like, "I don't want to see Pinocchio." He goes, "How old are you?" He goes, 10. "Do you want to see 11? Yeah. You can see Pinocchio tomorrow night."
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are just some classic dad moments. And yeah, I did really like the dynamic with the family, which I think is why it made me so frustrated that he just was like willing to leave it all behind just because of this obsession. But it kind of feels realistic. Like, this is such an otherworldly thing to experience that it kind of feels like somebody would go to any length to figure out what it really is or what it means if you had the opportunity. Doesn't
Yeah.
justify it, but it kind of makes sense. Okay, so while they're obviously headed there, the U.S. Army evacuates the area around Devil's Tower after planting fake reports of a train wreck causing toxic nerve gas to be spilled. While trying to keep all the citizens away, they are secretly prepping a landing site for the UFOs because, again, they have successfully made contact through these tones, these musical tones, and they want to provide a spot for them to land. So Roy and Jillian find one another at the train station, attempt to get as close to Devil's Tower as they can before being stopped by the Army, along with, I think it's 10 others, there's 12 of them total, who have also been experiencing the same visions of the mountain. So they all explain how they've been, have like a compulsion to come to this spot to see this mountain. They don't understand why. They're forced to wear gas masks as well because they're being told that there's obviously toxic air. Claude is with the Army and the UN group, so he questions Roy, who is unable to explain his obsession. He explains things that have happened to him, like including the face burning, and he just explains that he has an obsession with the mountain beyond, he is unable to explain his obsession with a mountain beyond just seeking answers for what
Yep.
it means. He just wants to understand it. So while being forced to wear the mask and be transported away with the Jillian and the 10 other people, he tells everyone to take their masks off while the Army guys are kind of not near them. And he says, "I don't believe the air is toxic. Like, just take it off. Like, breathe. You're fine." And Jillian follows, and the others are kind of afraid. But one other man also comes with them, and the three of them escape and head towards the mountain to figure out what is this all about.
That guy
So I'll
looks
stop there.
insane as well.
Anything else to add? This movie is like long, but it's so simple. As I was like writing the notes, I was like, this really isn't that long to explain. So
No,
anything I missed?
no. You're doing it. It's perfect. Yeah, no, not really. This is the part where it's just like, all right, family's gone. Like, he's like.
You just accepted it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's a good point that you put before. I didn't even think about it. It's just like we just accept that he just abandons his family. Like, it's just gone. But I think the family does what they need to do. Yeah, I think it's really cool. That one first shot where he sees the mountain like for the first time, and you just see like it's like a sense of like realization and like what's the word I'm thinking of, like where it feels like ease, where it's like satisfaction and everything like that, where
It's finally real for
relief. Yeah, relief is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's finally real for sure. I think that's an awesome shot. And then this is where like shit starts to get really real as well, which is where like Spielberg is like, let's flex some muscles.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like this next section is not what I thought it was going to be. I kind of thought this was going to be like one of those classic like government conspiracy like cover up type things, or like them trying to like almost like in Nope, you know how like Stephen Yeun's character is like trying to like poke at the thing and like is trying to like expose it and use it for his own like gain or something. I don't know. I thought it was going to go down that path more. I was not expecting like this last chunk. Like it really kind of like took me by surprise for being a movie about UFOs. It went in a different direction, I guess, than I was expecting, which isn't bad, but just definitely different to have this many like government and military agents involved, and all they want to do is try to communicate with it. I was just surprised.
No, same.
Okay, well, continuing, this is the last section. I mean, there's really not that much left. So the army continues to search for Jillian and Roy. It becomes nighttime, and they're just still climbing this mountain. They lose the third guy who had come with them. He just can't make it anymore. But they manage to make it to the top of Devil's Tower just in time to see the UFOs appear in the night sky. Don't know how they made it up there.
No.
Really don't know. They don't seem very athletic.
It's like a cliff face as well.
Yeah, it's like a crater at the top is the way that it kind of looks. Just insane that they even made it. But we're not even going to question that. We're just, they made it, and that's all that matters. So they watch as the specialists begin to attempt communication with the UFOs using the same musical tone they learned earlier. They've also learned this like special, I think it's called like a Kerwin hand signs that they use to kind of communicate within also the musical tone. So they kind of communicate via like a version of sign language and also through this like big electrical like it's like piano like type thing that they have set up.
I like that. That stuff's cool.
It was really interesting. The scene where you like see the whole setup at the like top of the crater, it's so clearly obviously like computer generated, but I think they did a really good job considering the time.
No, I agree.
Like it could have looked a lot sillier.
Way sillier.
So while Julian stays back, like at the tip of the mountain to watch, Roy tells her he has to get closer. And then this moment happens that it really bothered me. Like they share a kiss. I just think that it's really pointless.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It didn't need to happen. I was just like, they could have just like embraced with a hug. Like they could have totally remained platonic the entire time, but just had like a shared bond, a shared experience. And I would have liked that so much better. I don't understand the need for the kiss. I just felt like that kind of irritated me, honestly.
Agreed. No, I'm there with you there.
But that aside, so Roy kind of sneaks down into the main area. Nobody seems to question or find him or care that he's there, but that's fine. And then this huge, like, enormous mothership eventually arrives and uses the musical tone language to communicate with the researchers for quite a while, like plays a ton of the music. At one point, I swear it was playing the Jaws theme.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun.
I was
dying.
Yeah,
definitely was.
Amazing.
That's definitely Stephen being like, it was good. Just throw it in there a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
definitely
so basically does this like long ass musical tone before eventually opening this hatch at the bottom of the ship, and then we see people start to emerge from it, and also some animals. But basically it includes like the pilots, the people who were on that ship that they found abandoned, Barry, of course, and then a bunch of other people who have just kind of been abducted. So Jillian has now come down at this point, and she's reunited with Barry in this like super emotional moment. Obviously, that's great that he's like alive and well. I had a question about so does time not move on the UFO? Because like, are those pilots from 1945 like not?
I
aged
assume
at all?
so. Yeah, I assume that like time just skips.
That's crazy. That was my assumption as well. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something. So while Roy is completely fascinated and told by Claude that he should be prepped for the inclusion of the government-selected group of potential visitors to the mothership. So he gets in this group of, like, I don't even know who these people are, like if they're military or astronaut people, but they have these, like, red suits they get all done up in, and the aliens finally emerge from the mothership, and they basically are going to, like, select somebody to come up there with them. Again, not my favorite looking aliens. Like, I guess I
No.
get it. Like, I don't know what I expected them to look like. I feel like they just looked a little too much like children in alien costumes.
Yep. No,
Like, maybe
they
it was just
did.
they were so little, like so short, that it just looked really obvious.
Yeah, no, they did. They looked like stereotypical aliens for sure. There was the one alien though, like when the door opened and you saw
Yeah.
like the really long limbs, and I was
I
like,
like that.
"That's horrifying."
I thought they were all gonna look like that.
And then these like little guys came out, like these fucking little dudes. I'm like, oh, I could party with these guys.
They just looked like a bunch of like 8-year-olds in like an alien mask and costume. It just looked too obvious. that
It's
they were,
like one of
a-
those ones where you're looking at them and be like, "How did you build this?" Like,
Right.
but then the first like really long limbed aliens was like, I could get it. I think that they should have stuck with that because that was scary. But no, I thought it was pretty cool. It did make me laugh. It was like a sea of these like little fuckers. Just go,
They're just so tiny. They're so
Yeah.
non-threatening, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was just different than I was expecting. I've seen so much like alien type content, and everyone always does aliens a little different. And that
Maybe
is
this
one
was
thing-
like, yeah, this was like one of the first to like revolutionize it as well, though. 'Cause,
absolutely.
yeah,
This movie was clearly like inspiration for so many things, which I respect it so much. But yeah, one thing actually a little interesting like fact I think will provide some context to like why they maybe looked the way they did. So Spielberg specifically wanted the aliens to look non-threatening. This is based on an experience he had as a child. So when he was like 6 or 7, his dad apparently woke him up in the dead of the night to come outside and watch a meteor. And he explains that in this moment he realized there is more that exists outside of us. And he says, quote, "The night sky was such a romantic thing that I didn't want to look up there and say, death is going to come raining down on us from some Martian invasion. I really looked up and thought, if anybody does bother to come hundreds, thousands, millions of light years to find us, it's going to be a peaceful communion."
cute.
So I think that actually really, to me, explains the whole heart of this movie. Like, this isn't a threatening thing. This is kind of almost just like a trying to understand one another. And even the abductions is more because of a fascination that those who, you know, kind of followed into the light, if you want to call it that, had. They never intended of killing these people. You know,
No,
it was
not
more
at all.
just
It was
out
more
of
just like
pure-
research and communication. That's all.
Exactly, like the curiosity behind it. So yeah, I thought that was a kind of that quote provided a lot of context. I thought to maybe why they looked the way they looked. But yeah, I agree with you that the first long one looked much cooler than the other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they choose Roy immediately to join them in their travels. And then he enters the mothership, and one of the aliens pauses to look at Claude, who uses that Kerwin hand sign, like I mentioned, to communicate the 5-note tonal phrase, leaving the alien to take off with kindness and a smile on their face before returning to the ship and taking off into the sky.
The alien's smile, wild.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
This is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So, anything else that I missed, and overall thoughts, score?
No, I really like this movie. This movie's great. It's visually stunning. It's crazy. I know I've said it a billion times, but it's insane how it's 50 years old. I really enjoyed this movie. This is like I'm really glad we included this one in as well. Yeah, you covered everything. It was great. I think that Richard Dreyfuss is brilliant for the role. I'm like actually really looking forward to rewatching it again. It just made me really want to watch Nope, which I might do that today. That might be what's on there. I got to go do a suit fitting after this for a wedding. Tux. Who buys tuxes? It doesn't matter. But after that, when I come home, might go to the gym and then watch Nope. That's my
I love it.
order of events for today, I think. What do you think? I'll give it 4 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I think, yeah, for me, like the visuals were just out of this world and very unexpected. Like I said, I was pretty hooked from the beginning. I thought the story was very interesting. I thought that it went in a different way than I was expecting, which wasn't a bad thing. I like when movies can kind of, like when I start theorizing and then I'm like wrong, I think that can be kind of a nice thing.
Agreed.
Yeah, I thought the cast was great. Richard Dreyfuss definitely fit the character very well. He was equally charismatic and impressive as he was irritating with his decision making, but it tracked for me for like what would happen to somebody who kind of gets entranced in this idea of finding out what this thing could mean. But yeah, I thought the Barry abduction scene absolutely blew me away. I think that scene will definitely like stay with me for a long time as a favorite movie scene. which is great. I always love when new movies can like really impress me like that, or give me like my favorite new scene, because it doesn't happen very often. You have your favorite movies, and usually it doesn't change too much over time. So yeah, I was very happy to find that I had like a new favorite scene that I've seen this year in a film. But yeah, I think the ability to make this at the time is just like, it's going to forever be an inspiration for so many things that we all know and love. So just have to give kudos to Spielberg for what he's able to create with these big epic blockbuster movies like this. 4 out of 5 for me as well. I can see it going up to like maybe a 4.5 on rewatch.
Same, yeah, same.
Well, awesome. Well, that's what we think of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Let us know what you think in the comments. But before we go, we're going to do a quick little draft, just a regular movie draft this time. And we're going to do movies that have a number in the title, since this one includes third. So we will accept movies that have like, 1
Second,
through 10.
Yeah.
Or if it says like 5th, 6th, 7th, that type of thing.
6th.
Just saying. So we'll do 6 movies each. I think that's a good amount.
But we're not including like sequels, so like not like an Iron Man 2.
Oh, no, we're not going to do sequels. Like actually in the title of the film is a number of some kind. And I said 1 through 10, but that also could be 1,000, 2,000, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any number.
That's fine. Yeah, I was just making sure it's not just like a Iron Man 2 is a 2 in the title, rather
That'd be
than like
real lame if we did that.
Yeah, rather than Close Encounters of a Third Kind. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
You can go first.
I've got to pick 12 Angry Men. I know I draft it so much.
So basic.
I know, but I got to do 12 Angry Men.
Sounds good. I wasn't really expecting anything different. I will take a movie that I don't know if I've drafted ever, but I love it. It's like my favorite Fincher, so I'll take 7.
Nice, I love that.
There's technically a 7 in the title, and the title itself is a number.
You're gonna hate me. I'm gonna take 10 Things I Hate About You.
Ah, great pick.
It's a great movie.
Definitely on my list. Obviously, I love it. But
that movie is so good.
Remember when we left it off of our draft?
Yeah, I still get messages about that.
I'll never forgive us for that one. Okay, well then I'll take my other little 5-star movie here, and I'll take One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, I was toying up between those two, but I wanted a little bit of diversity. Okay, all right. Now we get into the nitty gritty.
Just have fun.
I'd be insane not to go there. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2001.
Boring.
I know it is, but it's so good. Like,
I think I'm gonna go in a totally different direction. I'm gonna go with a movie I don't think I've ever drafted, and I'm gonna take 500 Days of Summer.
I love that. I love that movie.
I love this movie. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of not everyone's favorite, but I've always loved it.
That's a great pick.
It's funny, when I was a teenager, I thought that, like, poor Tom, like, it was so sad what was happening to him. And then the older I get, I'm just like, Tom, you son of a bitch.
Now, Terminator 2 Judgment Day we can't take because it's Terminator 2.
Sequels.
Correct. Okay, cool.
No.
Just making sure. Could I please... Like, I love this movie. Not many people love this movie as much as I do. Can I take 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you'd love that, I think.
Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell, right?
Yep.
Outside of... what is it called?
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Ebbing, Missouri. Jesus Christ. Okay.
So you'd like that movie a lot, I think.
Yeah, I definitely have heard of it. I just never got around to it. Okay. One that I love that I actually need to rewatch because I still need to see the sequel is 28 Days Later. Definitely one of the more melancholy, like dark zombie movies.
Completely missed that. Great pick.
I still need to watch the new one. I still haven't gotten to see
I think you'd like the new one a lot. The new one's great. I kind of want some comedy in here, but I also kind of want some horror, Mm-hmm. I'm going to take my Lord and Savior M. Night. I'm going to take The Sixth Sense.
Shocking.
I know.
Shocking,
I could do more than 6 if you want to do more than 6. Up to you.
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got 7, One Flew Over, 500 Days of Summer, 28 Days Later. I've got a lot of variety already. I also would like. You know, honestly, I've never drafted this movie, and I don't know if it'll ever come up again. And I like this movie a lot. I know it's like very similar to other things, but I'm gonna take Super 8.
I like that movie.
Which Spielberg produced, so kind of works as we are doing his 2 months here. But yeah, I love that movie, and so clearly inspired Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. I've got like 5 different movies to pick from now.
I think 8's like the max I'd want to go. I didn't make that.
Let's do 8. Let's do 8 then. Let's do 8. Cool. Awesome. Well then.
So you got 5 right now.
Can I? Okay. This might not get past you. Can I take Tenet?
No.
Okay.
We're not doing it like that, where it's like hidden in the word.
Okay.
We're doing it like actually a part of the title.
Okay. I tried, ladies and gentlemen. I tried. I'm going to take Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Oh my God, you always find a way to take a Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah.
You've never done a draft without it.
I don't want to ever do a draft without it.
I feel like it's cheating.
It's not. It's just good. It's just good drafting.
Okay.
It's good old-fashioned drafting.
Well, I'm just having fun and going for the vibes here. So I'm going to take my beloved 13 Going on 30, which has 2 numbers in it.
Nice. Well, you'll like this because I'm going to go 50 First Dates.
Nice. That one's not my personal favorite, but I do still like it.
I love 50 First Dates.
Okay, well, let's go with like a little bit of a creepy one here. I want more horror on the list. I'm going to go with a little bit of a under-the-radar pick. I'll take House of a Thousand Corpses.
Love it.
Get some Rob Zombie. Get excited about Rob Zombie, you know, because that might be coming up here in the next month or so.
Whoa.
Little teaser for you guys.
We're doing a Rob Zombie 2 months. We're not.
Can you imagine if he's not enough movies for that? That would be some depressing, gross-ass 2 months.
Yeah, that'd be some gross shit. Number 8, I'm going with one of my all-time favorite movies. I just kept it to the last because I know you haven't seen it. Ocean's 11. Ah, dude, please watch Ocean's 11. Like, it's such an easy watch. It's so charming.
Okay, I will.
Like, Brad Pitt is fucking awesome in it.
I mean, I've heard great things. I'm not, like, avoiding it. I just haven't.
Sounds like you're avoiding it. That's what it sounds
Your
like.
list, if you took out 10 Things I Hate About You, feels so perfectly filmed, bro.
And 50 First Dates.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to write that one down.
Yeah.
Whoops. 50 First Dates.
But it is, yeah. 12 Angry Men, Space Odyssey. Oh, 3 Billboards.
That's
Sixth Sense,
that's like an
Lord of the
Oscar
Rings.
movie, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay.
great,
Let's
that's
end
great.
the list with... do I want to have fun, or do I want to go with...
Go for the vibe.
Let's go with District 9. We know that you love that movie, and I
That's
love
a
that
great movie. Great movie.
Okay, so to summarize, Harry took 12 Angry Men, 10 Things I Hate About You, 2001: A Space Odyssey, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Sixth Sense, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, 50 First Dates, and Ocean's 11. Ash took 7, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 500 Days of Summer, 28 Days Later, Super 8, 13 Going on 30, House of a Thousand Corpses, and District 9.
Beautiful.
So let us know what you think about the drafts in the comments. But next time, please watch E.T. I can't wait. This is one of my favorite childhood movies that I just absolutely love. So another alien-esque, extraterrestrial movie to talk about. And then after that, we'll do Munich, which is not that at all. And then we'll end the month, or 2 months, with Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we choose that? We don't know, but it's a brilliant film. So
Do we already regret it? Yep. We still got to do it? Yep.
yes. So, until then, I'm Ash, that's Harry, and we will see you at the movies.